For you as a young man growing up with big dreams, you want to become successful in life. Always know that. Keeping your money locked away in a box for years, hoping that one day it will finally be enough to live your dream life, is one of the biggest silent mistakes most people never realize until it's too late. Because money was never meant to sit still. It doesn't grow in silence, and it doesn't multiply in hiding. If your money isn't working for you while you sleep, then you might already be falling behind without even knowing it. So before you scroll away, watch this story till the end. You might just see yourself in the man who learned this lesson the hard way. And if this story opens your eyes, share it forward. Because someone out there is still making this same mistake today. Once upon a time, in a small village in India, surrounded by dry farms and endless dusty roads, lived a man who trusted money more than people. Every single rupee he earned, he secretly hid it away, not in a bank, and not in any form of family save meeting, but inside an old metal box, buried beneath a lonely neem tree beside his house. And for 11 long years, he believed the hidden box would one day save his family's future. But one scorching afternoon, under the burning Rajasthan sun, that same man stood completely frozen outside a hospital, holding all his life savings in his trembling hands, only to realize something terrifying. The money he protected for years was no longer enough. The money survived, but his dreams did not. And on that painful day, he learned a lesson powerful enough to change generations forever. Money sitting still slowly dies, but money that moves creates life. Every morning before sunrise, while the entire village still slept in silence, Hari Ram was already awake. The sound of roosters echoed through the narrow, dusty streets. Women balanced heavy water pots on their heads. Thin smoke slowly rose from clay stoves as another hard day began. And through that sleepy village, Hari Ram walked alone, carrying heavy farming tools across his broad shoulders. The villagers respected him, because no one worked harder than Hari Ram. But what nobody knew was this. Behind his strength, behind his discipline, behind the sweat and long hours, the man was deeply terrified of poverty. If I save enough money, my family will never suffer. Every evening, after spending long hours farming beneath the brutal sun, Hari Ram returned home exhausted. But while the rest of the village rested, his real obsession began. Inside his small mud house, a weak lantern flickered beside him. Old rupee notes covered the floor, and night after night, he counted every coin carefully, again and again, like a man trying to control the future with his bare hands. Behind him, his wife quietly stitched her torn sandals. For the third time, these sandals won't survive another month. But Hari Ram never even looked up. His eyes stayed fixed on the money. We must save more. One warm afternoon, Hari Ram's daughter, Meera, stood quietly outside watching other children crowd around a sweet cart. Their laughter filled the air. Tiny hands reached for colorful candies and sugary treats. Meera watched them for a moment before turning softly toward her father. "Papa, why do we never buy anything nice?" For a second, Hari Ram forced a tired smile. But deep down, even he didn't know the answer anymore. "We are saving for tomorrow." But Meera only looked confused. Because in that house, tomorrow never seemed to come. Hari Ram believed in hard work, but he never trusted anyone at all. He never trusted the banks. And businessmen, not even the people living beside him. To him, the safest place for money was where no human eyes could see it. So every single month, after saving every rupee he could, he carefully wrapped the money inside old pieces of cloth, placed it gently into the metal box, and buried it beneath the earth under the neem tree. Here, nobody can touch it, and each time he covered the box with dirt, he felt peace. But while the money slept silently underground, life above the ground never changed. The roof still leaked whenever the rain came. The kitchen still struggled to provide enough food. Little Mira still studied beside cracked walls, under weak sunlight pouring through broken windows. And every day, Hari Ram continued working endlessly beneath the burning sun, believing he was protecting his family's future, without realizing something dangerous. His money was standing still, while life kept moving forward without him. One hot afternoon, the loud sound of a motorcycle echoed through the village. A wealthy milk trader had arrived. His shiny motorcycle sparkled beneath the sun as children ran excitedly behind him through the dusty roads. Villagers gathered around him with curiosity. The man laughed confidently while counting thick stacks of cash in his hands. "My money earns more money every day." Those words hit Hari Ram harder than he expected. For a moment, the entire world around him went quiet. How can money work by itself? That night, Hari Ram could not sleep. He lay awake, staring silently at the ceiling while the rest of the family rested beside him. And for the first time in many years, fear entered his heart. Not fear of poverty, but something even worse. The fear that he may have wasted his entire life. Then one brutal summer afternoon, while helping her mother carry water beneath the scorching sun, Mira suddenly collapsed. The heavy metal water pot slipped from her hands, rolling loudly across the dusty village road. For a moment, everything froze. Villagers rushed toward her in panic. Her mother dropped to her knees beside her daughter, screaming in fear. Mira, across the field, Hari Ram heard the scream. He dropped his farming tools instantly and ran faster than he ever had in his entire life. His heart pounded, his breath shook, and for the very first time, saving money no longer mattered to him. Only his daughter mattered. At the crowded city hospital, everything moved fast. Doctors spoke urgently. Nurses rushed through the halls. Medicines, tests, treatments. Every second carried a price. Hari Ram stood there silently, trying to understand how life had become so expensive. Then slowly, with trembling hands, he opened the old metal box. Inside it was everything he had sacrificed for. Years of hard labor, years of fear, years of denying his family simple joys. But in that hospital room, it suddenly looked so small. I protected this money, so why can't it protect my daughter? The sounds around him slowly faded away. The voices, the hurried footsteps, the machines beeping in the distance. Everything disappeared inside his mind. And standing there, for the first time in his life, Hari Ram cried openly, not because he was poor, but because he finally understood something heartbreaking. Saving money alone was never enough. Outside the hospital, Hari Ram sat silently beneath an old tree, defeated, exhausted, completely broken. The noise of the busy street faded around him as he stared at the ground. Still holding the savings he once believed would protect his family forever. Nearby, an elderly chai seller slowly poured hot tea into small clay cups. Soft steam curled into the afternoon air. Customers gathered around her tiny cart, smiling, talking, paying with small coins. Tiny profits, but constant movement. The old woman noticed Hariram sitting alone. For a moment, she watched him quietly before finally speaking. "You saved money, but did you ever teach it to grow?" Hariram slowly looked up, confused. The woman gave a gentle smile. "This tiny tea stall fed my children for 20 years. She pointed toward the customers standing around her cart. People came, people paid, and more people kept arriving. One cup became 10. 10 became a business. Money sitting still becomes weaker, but money with purpose creates life." Those words pierced straight through Hariram's heart, not because they were harsh, but because deep down, he knew they were true. For hours, Hariram remained there beneath the tree, silently watching the tea stall. Cup after cup moved from hand to hand. Coins kept returning. Customers kept smiling. And slowly, something inside him began to change. For the first time in years, he wasn't thinking about saving money. He was thinking about movement. My money was sleeping, while hers was alive. That realization hit him harder than any loss he had ever faced. For 11 long years, he had spent every day working for money, but never once had he learned how to make money work for him. And in that quiet afternoon outside the hospital, the fear that had controlled his entire life finally broke. Months later, after Mira finally recovered, Hariram made a decision that shocked the entire village. Instead of burying his money underground again, he gathered every rupee he had left and bought 2 buffaloes. Just 2. To most people, it looked foolish. The villagers laughed the moment they heard the news. Hariram the Saver thinks he's a businessman now, but this time, Hariram didn't care, because something inside him had changed forever. For the first time in his life, he understood a truth bigger than fear. Money was never meant to be hidden. It was meant to move. Every morning before sunrise, Hariram cleaned the buffalo shed with his own hands. Mira carefully recorded milk sales inside an old notebook. Her mother woke early to prepare butter and yogurt to sell in nearby markets. And slowly, little by little, their lives began to change. The kitchen filled with food again. The leaking roof was finally repaired. Sunlight entered a home that once felt heavy with struggle. And after many painful years, laughter slowly returned to the family. Not because they became rich overnight, but because their money finally had purpose. It was no longer sleeping underground. It was working beside them. This is the first time my money feels alive. Years passed. The small dairy business grew into one of the most respected shops in the village. People now came to Hariram for advice. The same man who once buried money beneath the earth was now teaching others how to build a future. One peaceful evening, a young boy approached him quietly and asked, "Uncle, what is the safest way to keep money?" Hariram smiled softly. Then he looked toward his family, laughing together nearby. And after a long pause, he finally answered, "Money hidden away becomes weaker, but money used wisely creates more life. Don't just save money, build something with it." Safety does not come from hiding money. It comes from creating value. It comes from movement, from courage, from taking action, even when life feels uncertain. Because sometimes, one small decision, one small investment, One small beginning can completely change the direction of an entire family's future forever. And maybe, just maybe, that small beginning starts today with you. If this story opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. What's the biggest mistake you've ever made when it comes to saving money? Subscribe for more real-life motivational stories like this. And share this video with someone who still believes saving alone is enough. Because someone out there needs to hear this today. And before you go, tell me in the comments,